As the students, we have talked about the social research, that this is a systematic investigation to explore and gather the facts. But it is also discussed that there are other alternatives to social research through which we can get knowledge and we get information. And if we see that how the knowledge is derived out, we can see that there are major four sources through which and by using that we derive knowledge and information about our universe and the society. That is, first of all, I would like to discuss that the first major source through which we derive the knowledge is the personal experience and common sense. Now, what is the personal experience and common sense? On the basis of that, we see that this is the personal experience, and this is the personal experience that when the people speak on the basis of their personal experience and on the basis of their common sense, they talk about, we can take the example like working women are more privileged or more independent and more empowered, while the researchers shows that they free double burden and they have to work outside on their job places, as well as they have to do the domestic chores and domestic works on their own. So they are more suppressed and they are more they are double burdened, they are overworked. So the knowledge on the basis of personal experience and the common sense we get can be wrong if we conduct research and we collect information on the basis of the evidence and the collected facts through research. The results are different from the things which have been collected through personal experience or the common sense. Similarly, we see that in the economic scenario of the country, we see that the males are the major contributors, but if we conduct research and we go through the different research, we find that through the gathered data, it has been observed and it has been seen that the total economy of Pakistan, the 80% of total economy of Pakistan is comprised of the informal economy. And out of this 80%, 50% are women who are working in different fields, from agriculture sector to the manufacturing sector. And they are engaged in economic activities within the confines of their homes. So they are also contributing in the economic conditions of their home at the household level, as well as on the national and the international level. So the facts are otherwise from the information and the knowledge which exist on the basis of the personal experience and the common sense. Another example we can take in which we see the variation between the personal experience knowledge or the common sense information and the gathered facts through research. It is always said that the big houses are more comfortable and big houses are more luxurious. But researchers show that the small houses are more sellable and have more market value because there are more customers for the small houses. So these kind of the errors we make on the basis of the personal experience and the common sense, while the research gives us the different information. Another example we can talk about that it is always said whenever there is a traffic jam, it is said that there will be a woman in the car and she would be responsible for the traffic jam, and women are the bad drivers. So this is a myth. But if we see the record, the traffic record, we see the traffic accident ratio by males are more in traffic records as compared to the female drivers. And traffic jams are usually caused by men as compared to women. So the research findings are different as compared to the information which is delivered on the basis of the personal experience. These are the major errors which we commit and make on the basis of the personal experience. So if we divide these errors, we see that there are 5 major errors on the basis of the personal experience. And number 1 is the overgeneralization. Normally we commit a mistake that when we overgeneralize the things, and for example, we say that the fatty people are more jolly, and it is not the case with every fatty person. Maybe few, but the other can be the serious people as well. So there is we see that there is an image about the Muslims, that Muslims are the extremists, but it is maybe it is through the media, or it is on the basis of the overgeneralization, and we see that Islam is the religion of peace, and mostly the Muslims are not extremists. Only the few number of the Muslims can be, but there can be the political reasons lying behind this extremism, but the Muslims are labeled as the extremist throughout the world because of the media hype. And we can see, if we conduct a research, that other people who belong to other religion can also be the extremist people, and we can take a lot of examples. So this kind of overgeneralization is made on the basis of personal experience is wrong, while the researches, when we conduct the research, the facts are otherwise. Another mistake we make on the basis of the personal experience is selective observation, in which we reinforce pre-existing thinking, and neutrality and balanced manner of getting the knowledge is ignored. For example, we make the judgments about the certain castes, and we say that the sheikhs are like this. The sheikhs are maybe the miser, and the birds are more, food, have more develop more food habits, and we also give the judgment very easily, the selective on the basis of the selective observations about the horoscopes, like the Pisces are very spiritual, or the Gemini are flirt, or this kind of identification we attach with the people on the basis of selective observation, but the results of research are otherwise. And we see that the nature of the people, the certain attitudes and behavior patterns of the people can be based upon their nurturing patterns, their cultural background, their family background, or maybe the geographical realities and impacts on them. So they have nothing to do with the horoscopes identification or the caste judgment. So these kind of errors we make on the basis of the personal experience. Another error is the premature closure, which means that instead of research-based results, we draw the conclusion on the basis of predetermined mindset and biases, and we gather small evidences, and on the basis of small gathered facts, we jump to the conclusion directly, and we pass the statements and judgments on the basis of that selective information. This is called the premature closure. For example, it is normally said about the professors that they forget. Maybe they are mentally occupied somewhere else, and they're engaged in some thinking process, but this is a statement which is given about the professors, that the professors normally forget. Or it is also that we attach certain impressions about certain professions, like the people who teach chemistry or physics are the dry people, and the people who study the science subjects are they don't speak much, and they're dry, and they're not friendly, and they don't know how to socialize. So these are the false consensus and errors which we make on the basis of the personal experiences. It has nothing to do with the research, and the fact is otherwise if we collect data on the basis of research. Another error is, we can say, the hollow effect, that which means that the belief construction based on impression of highly positive or prestigious reputation, as we say that the PhD from the Harvard University will be very authentic. To some extent, it's correct, and it can be correct, but it's not always correct. And we attach the more reliability with the most reputed institutions, and the reliability with the brand consciousness, which cannot be correct, because sometimes the experiences are otherwise. And if we conduct research, obviously we see that maybe the students who have earned their PhDs from other institutions can be as reliable and can be as effective as the PhD from the prestigious or more reputed institutions. Or so this kind of hype which is being attached with the well-known and renowned private schools of the town, and people want to send their children into the branded schools, or people want to purchase from the brand shops. So this kind of hollow effect sometimes creates hype, and we commit mistake on the basis of this hollow effect. Another error is the false consensus, which means whatever I think is perfect, whatever I think is true. So, as compared to the opinion of the other people, and sometimes we think that whatever we think, the other people think likewise, or in the same manner, which is not correct. For example, there is a traditional thinking which mostly the people of the society perceive about the domestic women. They're more loyal to their families, and they're more faithful to their relations, which cannot be correct if we conduct research. And the working women, which are overburdened and are doing more efforts and more hard worker, they are more, maybe the more loyal or faithful for their families and for their relations. So social research addresses these issues and helps to address these errors which we make on the basis of the personal experiences.